Reggie Willett's one of 3 switch hitters. Check that. 2 switch hitters today in this lineup. Takes first pitch strike from Mark Burley. Willett's hitting at .292. No homers. He's driven in 34. 3 for 7 in the series. Angels come in hitting at .285 as a club with a 4.16 ERA. So that's popped up right side. Stay with it, Paulie. Stay with it. Yes. Nicely done. 1 out. That'll bring up the shortstop, the veteran Orlando Cabrera. Cabrera hitting at .303, 8 homers, and he has knocked in 81. He is the kind of guy who will get you some big base hits at the right time in the ball game. Takes first pitch strike. This is the 9th and final meeting of the year between these 2 clubs. In the first 8, they have split them. That pitch down low, and the count 1-1. Angels come in 87-61. They are in first place by 8.5 games over Seattle. And it's chopped foul. So the count 1-2, and here at beautiful US Cellular Field, 330 down the left field line, 335 down the right field line, 375 in the gap, send 400 straightaway center. He gone.
Nice job pitching up right there for Burley. You got to know when to go ahead and elevate a pitch. Got a guy looking down, 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 and then all of a sudden the surprise upstairs. Saw the late reaction by Cabrera. Just said, "Oh, I can get to that," and of course he's tardy and underneath it.
Here's Vladimir Guerrero hitting at .327, 24 homers, 119 knocked in on an 8-game hitting streak. Vlad 1 hit in each of the first 2 ball games of this series. Lifetime against Burley, 5 for 15 with 2 homers. Now make it 3. It is 1-0 Anaheim, and so far the 10th consecutive season, Guerrero is one of only 2 players in Major League history to hit 25 or more home runs in 10 consecutive years. The other is Alex Rodriguez.
Well, Vlad Guerrero obviously is one of those guys. He's just going to swing at the ball and hit it. Panasonic Plasma replay shows you it's not like he's aiming it that way. He just took a big swing. He's a strong man.
So here's Rob Quinlan. Hits that ball foul. Quinlan at .242, 3 homers. He's driven in 20. Angels 38-36 on the road this year. Curveball strike, and the count 0-2. What a magnificent day here in the magnificent city of Chicago. Somebody's got to hurry, Danny. Got to hurry. Can't get him. So the little infield chopper base hit.
Yeah, there's no way. I mean, it's right over the base, and Quinlan runs well.
So here's Masir. Here's Turris, the other switch hitter in the lineup today. He's 3 for 8 in the series and 3 for 7 with a homer lifetime off Burley. That's popped up. Kobe Hall gets rid of the mask and everything else, makes a catch, and that'll do it. Got the 25th homer of the year for Vladimir Guerrero. After half inning of play, it's Angels 1 and the good guys coming to bat.
Joe Saunders out on the hill for the Angels. 15 starts, 8-3, 397 the earned run average, 298 the batting average against him. And the Rico defensive setup is Rivera, Willits, and Evans in the outfield. It's Turris, Cabrera, Kendrick, Quinlan, the infielders. Napoli does the catching.
And before we show you our picks to click, you at home select yours. As Jerry Owens will lead it off. Jerry. Hitting at .253, a homer. He's driven in 13. Sherry 4 for 7 in the series. And the count 1-1. So the 26-year-old southpaw, Joe Saunders, 6'3", 210 pounds. Played his college baseball at Virginia Tech and now resides in Chandler, Arizona.
First rounder for these Angels.
Back in 02, 12th pick overall. That's deflected. And Cabrera makes the adjustment and gets the out. So if you're scoring, that's 163, and that'll bring up Josh Fields. Josh 1 for 5 in the opening game. Sox come in hitting at .244 as a club. They have a 4.84 team ERA. Sox 33 and 41 here at home. Is that breaking ball in the dirt? Big Jim Thome on deck. Big hack. Ball had good tailing action on it. Other action around the American League will show tonight. Yankees taking on the Red Sox from Fenway Park. That's foul back. Bottom of the 5th as we speak in Cleveland, 2-0 Kansas City. Tigers have scored 1 at the top of the 1st at Minnesota. Still hitting. They're on Texas at Oakland, Tampa Bay at Seattle, and Baltimore at Toronto, where the Blue Jays lead that game 4-1 top of the 4th. 2 down. And here comes the man. Big Jim 0 for 7 in the series. And he has faced Saunders just 2 times. He has 1 hit. Saunders reached back a little bit. Got that one up there at 94. And that's fair down to Quinlan. So 1-2-3 inning for the Angel southpaw, and after 1 it is 1-0 bad guys. Oh man. I got to get you one of those, Feisty. Not for you, of course. For Tatum.
Why not?
Plenty of reasons why not. That is low and away to Juan Rivera. Rivera, who broke his leg in winter ball. Been rehabbing. Just 1 for 13 since being recalled. Last year had a nice year. 23 home runs, 80-something, 85 RBIs.
Yeah, 23-85, hit .310. Surprising year for him with an opportunity to play.
Ball hit hard. Look at the play right here. Man, what a Paulie cannot hang on to. What a play right there by Andy Gonzalez. My goodness gracious. Andy, who has been having his troubles.
Well, I tell you, this is indeed a great stop by Andy. He rushed his throw a bit. As you'll see, this ball's way ahead of Rivera. So he had a little more time to maybe pick up the target. It looks like he had a hot potato. He just got rid of it.
That'll bring up the catcher, Mike Napoli, playing in his first game of the series. Napoli 0 for 3 lifetime off Burley. Mike hitting at .245, 9 homers, 32 knocked in. Jeff Mathis has caught the first 2 games.
Napoli pounding that plate like he's mad at it prior to getting set in the box. Some guys tap that plate with their bat just ever so gently. reach across it, let the pitcher know, hey, I can reach that outside corner. Napoli is beating it down.
Well, maybe he had a bad night. Can't get that one.
You know, anger is not a good thing to take up with you at the home plate area. I mean, usually you're a little over aggressive when you do that.
Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't.
I mean, you know, I'm just saying. I want to just ratchet it down.
There are a lot of guys who have been a better hitter when they had an edge on. Namely, we had one here for a long time. Big Frank Thomas.
An edge is good. A rage, no, not so good.
That's according to who you're facing.
I don't know. I'm just saying.
One out. 2-2 pitch. Ball hit hard. And that's a base hit. So 2 on 1 out. That'll bring up the right fielder, Terry Evans, out of Woodstock, Georgia. 25-year-old outfielder. That's what he was doing at Salt Lake City, a beautiful town this time of year.
Have you ever been there?
Yeah, I've been there, DJ. Have you?
Oh, yeah. Beautiful town this time of year.
That's outside in the count 1-0.
And other times of the year, too.
Gets cold there a little bit.
Beautiful when it's cold there. I've been there when it's cold.
That is high pop up into short left center field. Now Jerry calling off Josh.
Well, Josh is just going to get used to the fact that everybody's going to call him off until he has proven that he can handle absolutely everything out there. He's telling Jerry Owens, look, I want to play too. I can catch that one. I know fine. I've had problems with a couple of them, but I can catch that one.
That's not what he's saying.
I'm telling you.
He's saying, be my guest.
I'm telling you.
Anytime, Jerry, be my guest.
I'm just saying.
Come over here anytime you want to, buddy. Take all you can get. As here is Reggie Willits. Fouled out to Konerko. Willits now 2 for 8 lifetime off Burley. I used to tell Reggie Smith that when I was playing right field in Boston late in the season, that sun just killing you in right field. That's the toughest right field in baseball to play. And before every game, I'd go over the top of the first inning. I'd say, Reggie, be my guest, buddy.
Oh, yes.
Anytime you want to come on over, come on over.
Well, certain circumstances.
He'd just start laughing.
There's no question. You want as much help as possible. And right field in Fenway is definitely one of those places.
That's a pie in the count, 2-1. He made a couple of plays in right center field that a center fielder shouldn't have to make. But he made them.
Well, at least you talked to him ahead of time and let him know.
Oh, yeah. And reminded him about every other inning, too. There's a good strike to even the count at 2. So 2 on, 2 out, 2 balls, 2 strikes here in the top of the second.
That's a nice pitch right here. That cutter on the hands will work.
There it was, the cutter on the hands. And that'll do it. Nothing across after an inning and a half. 1-0 Angels. Pauly hitting at .264, 29 long ones, 81 driven in. Pauly has faced Joe Saunders twice. He has 2 hits. Breaking ball strike. Cubs did not score in the top of the first at St. Louis. Phillies leading the Mets 4-1, bottom of the 4th at Shea Stadium. Phillies could make it interesting. They're just 4.5 back. Atlanta 8.5 back, and they're leading Washington 2-0. Bottom of the third at RFK. High hopper. There's Torres. And right now, let's check out our Heineken picks to click in our poll question. Jim Anju, our director of the group, Jermaine Dye. Robin Aiden Tatum and GJ going with Danny Richard. Elizabeth Ann Duty Gorman and Michael, my man at North Harbor Towers. We're going to go with Jerry Owens. And who do you agree with? Text A, B, or C. 65-29-5. That's 65-29-5. Jermaine Dye. One and 0. Jermaine hitting at 252, 26 long ones, and 69 driven in. No score after one. Cincinnati at Milwaukee. And that's low and away. 3-0. Turning loose.
Saunders got some good movement on that fastball.
Well, we've only seen him one time before. There's ball 4, and he's throwing harder than he was then.
Yeah, I was talking to some people about him yesterday with the Angels. They said he can pop it upstairs and get away with it, even though he's not overpowering. He can get it up there occasionally, 91. Our gun here is at 94.
Several times.
Yeah, these are people that have seen him pitch all year long.
Or maybe he just likes Chicago.
Trying to make a good impression, huh?
That was interesting, that poll among athletes and which city that they enjoyed coming to the most. 30% said Chicago, by far the highest percentage.
Oh, of course. Well, everybody knows that.
I know one thing. Most of the players, this is where they're visiting players, I should say. This is where their wives want to come. Get on Michigan Avenue, that magnificent mile we have here, and get the plastic out.
I don't know about plastic, but it's a good place to spend some cash. There's no question.
Hey, you better get you one of those old TWA shoulder bags if you don't bring cash with you.
Oh, Leonardo DiCaprio movie.
I used to play golf with this guy who had a valet. And his valet had a Pan Am shoulder bag full of nothing but $100 bills.
It's like Catch Me If You Can.
We played a game called Whip Out. You pay after every hole. That ball is hooking foul.
Is that what that means on the golf course? I didn't understand it.
Whip out. If you're playing for $1 a hole, if you win the first hole, I got to pay you right then before we tee it up on 2.
Man, I might have to try that one day. Win me some money.
Big hack, fouls it back. Well, if I were you, I wouldn't try.
Well, Hawk, I'm not talking about playing good golfers. You know, maybe my chiropractor has to line up, aim it at the house to the left. To
oh,
hit
you
the
gonna get
fairway.
Singleton? Pick on him.
Why not? He's as good as any other.
Breaking ball, couldn't get it. So 2 down. I can tell you right now that I think from what we're looking at Joe Saunders, we got our hands full today.
Well, we have had trouble with left-handers, period, anyway. And now watching this young man out there today, he's far better than anything I was told.
Oh, yeah, me too.
We'd only seen him limited.
That one time.
Opportunity. Yeah, I mean.
And just killed him.
This is definitely a man that seems to be motivated.
Danny Richard at 217, 4 homers, 10 RBIs. Of course, this will conclude this homestand. And And after the game, we will board our charter, head on down to Kansas City for a 4-game set, then move up to Minnesota for a 3-game series, and then home. 3 games with Kansas City, 3 games with the Tigers, and that is it for 07. In fact, after this game, we will have 117 innings of baseball left to play, barring overtime.
Barring free baseball.
Detroit leading Minnesota 2-0. Tigers trying to catch the Yankees in the wild card. The game in the top of the 2nd at the Humphrey Dome. Kansas City shutting out Cleveland 3-0, bottom of the 6th at Jacobs Field. Two out, 2-1 to count. Ate him up. Got him on the fist, and after 2, it is 1-0. First pitch just off the outside corner to Orlando Cabrera, who struck out on a high fastball his first trip. That evens the count at 1. Off the end of the bat, pops it up.
Cabrera letting Mark Burley dictate the pace of his at bat. Hey. Taking the pitch, not even exiting the box, just putting the bat up in that set position again, saying, come on, let's go. That usually doesn't work out too well for the hitters.
So here's Vladimir. Took a fastball out of here to right field for his 25th homer. And if you're just tuning in, only one of 2 major leaguers ever to do that 10 consecutive years at 25 or more. The other is Alex Rodriguez.
Well, Vladimir Guerrero is proven to be one of those players that you'd pay to go see. Not only a few around baseball, but Guerrero is very exciting.
Matt Abatacola right there.
Yeah, that bat, I mean, shattered in all kinds of special ways. It's the cutter. You think you can get there until your bat's in all kinds of pieces.
So here's Quinlan. Hit a little soft chopper right over the head of Burley and beat it out for an infield single. Two and 0 the count. There's a strike. Bit of a gap out there in left center as the count evens at 2.
Just watching Quinlan swing. In a sense, it reminds me of the hitting coach of the Angels, Mickey Hatcher's swing.
He gone. Yes. But it didn't take long. After 2.5, still 1-0. Angels. Takes first pitch strike from the 26-year-old southpaw Joe Saunders. And at 191, couple of homers, 11 knocked in. And the count 0-2. Outfield about equidistant, spread out slightly to the left.
Always more difficult to put that bunt down when it's back behind your head, not out in front.
Saunders 15-6 in his major league career. Full count to Andy.
An easy road to the big leagues for Saunders. All he had to do was go 4-7 with a .511 earned run average at AAA this year to get to the bigs. And fans, don't miss your chance to experience White Sox baseball this season with a group of 20 or more. Great September dates and seat locations are still available. For group tickets or more information, call 312-674-1000 or visit whitesox.com.
So 1 out, 3rd strikeout for Saunders, and here's Toby Hall. Good rip by Toby just underneath it. In that 4-game series against Kansas City, we're going to run Vasquez, Floyd, Contreras, and Garland out there. They're going to run Davies, Mesh, Bannister, and Greinke. Breaking ball with a 4-hopper. So first time through the lineup, we only have had 1 base runner. That was a walk on 4 pitches to Jermaine Dye.
Well, that's the key. First time through. Get a little gauge on a pitcher, and hopefully that second time through, you've got things figured out a little bit better as a hitter.
Jerry Owens hit a ground ball back through the middle, deflected off the glove of Saunders over to Cabrera, who threw him out. Count evens at 1. Top of the 7th in Cleveland, 3-1 Kansas City. Bottom of the 2nd in Minneapolis, 3-0 Detroit. Top of the 3rd in St. Louis, no score. Cubs and the Cards. And the count 3-1. There's a bunt going foul.
Well, never a real big fan of bunting when it's 3-1, but that is a big part of Jerry Owens' game. Problem is, if you're going to put down the bunt 3-1, you really want to get it down fair. It's not a time you want to foul it off, because you're not showing a lot of confidence to hit in that situation ahead in the count, which means now that you've got 2 strikes on you, it's putting you in a bigger hole.
And there's ball 4. So good speed aboard, Jerry, with 26 stolen bases and 32 attempts. Had 2 last night. And here's Josh, struck out.
Over on first base, Quinlan playing off right in front of the base runner. As a base runner, you've got to still watch the pitcher, and that's it.
Well, most of the time in that situation, which I think is the correct way to play, because that way you put more of responsibility on the base runner. He's got to watch you, wonder what you're going to do, but you always have to have that sign with the pitcher. When you got somebody who can run, really steal a base, holding him on is not going to deter him very much at all. Now this has better chance of deterring him right there as they got him. And that'll retire the side. We'll go to the fourth. 1-0 Angels.
Angels on top 1-0 as we start action here in the fourth inning. Messier Izturis leading off. Takes it down. Izturis popped out. Foul territory to Toby Hall in the first inning. One and one. Izturis has batted fifth all 3 games of this series. He's not your typical big RBI man batting fifth. Mike Scioscia doing what he has to make his lineup click. He has always been a manager that just puts interchangeable parts in his lineup, sends them up there to just be themselves and play the game right. Mark handling his position as usual. 1 out. Jerry Owens caught stealing last inning. Let's take a look at it. The low jack caught stealing. He goes on the first move of Saunders, and they do just get him at second base in time. Quick throw by Quinlan on the money, and LoJack is the only stolen vehicle recovery system operated by the police.
As I said, that is the best way to hold a guy who can steal a base on right there. First of all, especially if you're a right-handed first baseman. Watch out. Well, scalded by Kendrick back through the middle. Because from there, you already have an angle if you're a right-handed first baseman. And again, if all you got to do is just juke back a little forth, and you'll find out that runner now has got to keep an eye on you plus the pitcher.
Right there, it was just guessing that Saunders was going home. Guessed wrong. That brings up Juan Rivera. An infield hit, smoked one down the third base line. Great stop by Gonzalez, couldn't throw him out. And Burley with a good pick. Doesn't get Kendrick there. Howie. He's got good speed. Doesn't steal a lot of bases, just 4 this year in 7 attempts, but he runs well. If anything, Scioscia would be more likely to try hit and run against Burley.
Well, with the way Mike Scioscia is, who believes in the stolen base, Kendrick's got decent speed, which he does. He must not have a good feel for it, or else he'd be running more.
Right. It's amazing. We've seen so many very fast runners that just didn't have base stealing sense. And looking at the Angels and the rest of the league, the Angels trying to lead the league in stolen bases for a 4th straight year. Orioles, Tampa Bay, Yankees, and Twins close out that top 5. That's way in the count 1-1. Juan Rivera really proved to be valuable to Mike Scioscia a couple of years ago, and he got in there regularly last year. He put big numbers up. And then, of course, the injury knocked him down and gave opportunities to others who have stepped up and taken advantage, like a Reggie Willits. Unless you are an everyday superstar in the big leagues, it's tough to get out of the lineup and keep your job. And the count 2-2 with 1 out here in the 4th inning. All accounts in the history of the game, I heard Wally Pipp was a pretty good ball player. Count remains 2-2.
He was all right.
I know he wasn't your roomie, Babe Ruth was, but still.
No, I keep telling you.
His suitcase.
That's where I roomed it. Oh, what I roomed it.
I'm not sure if everyone listening in is familiar with the Wally Pipp story of missed a game and Lou Gehrig took over, never to come out in the lineup again. That was it. Rivera hanging in there, fighting Burley's tough pitches off, trying to get one to his liking. And the Sox looking to turn the DP. And again, Rivera fouls it off.
And the Tigers putting some heat on the Yankees. Tigers trailing New York by 2.5 games in the race for the wild card, leading Minnesota 4-0. Bottom of the third in Minneapolis.
Very, very exciting time of the year for so many teams because of the wild card. Burley, little step off bluff.
Cubs doing some damage, hitting in the top of the third, scored 4 times, leading 4-0 in St. Louis.
High and deep to left field. Going back and just looking up is Fields. It is 3-0 Anaheim. Excuse me, Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. So Rivera finally got one to his liking. First pitch swinging. Excuse me, Napoli, who is one for one.
It certainly would not hurt the Angels' feelings at all if Rivera could get a little warm before the playoffs. That would really give Socia some flexibility. And coming off the season that he had in 06, you know he's still got to have a bunch of confidence.
Well, he's a veteran, and come playoff time, that's the kind of guys you want available to you. Down to Andy, and it's foul. Juan Rivera broke into the big leagues with the Yankees in 01.
Everybody has always been waiting for him to bust out. Last year was the first time we saw a semblance of it.
23 homers and 448 at bats, along with 27 doubles. And is into left field, and it's the third straight hit that Burley's allowed.
Well, the thing that makes Rivera such an important piece of the puzzle for playoffs for the Angels is he can play all 3 outfield positions. You'd like to see him in a corner, but he's not going to take Garrett Anderson's place. Certainly not going to take Vlad's place if he's feeling good to be out there. So that leaves center, and he can play there.
And he's not going to take Gary Matthews Jr.'s place.
No, not if Gary is healthy.
That's high, and Jerry Owens is settling underneath it.
Well, that injury to Gary Matthews Jr., the high ankle sprain, it can be serious, but I don't think it's probably going to be enough to take him out of the playoffs.
Now, as a matter of fact, we mentioned it the other day, folks. If you aren't tuned in, you know, the thought at first was that Matthews Jr. would be possibly missing the rest of the season. But since then, he is really showing that he has had marked improvement since the initial injury. He's walking around without the air cast on or crutches or anything like that. The butt by Willits. It's a good one. Forget about it. No, Mark Burley with a tremendous from the Knee throw. Gets the speedy Reggie Willits on a beautiful bunt. Saunders' first pitch to Josh Fields is a ball. Josh, a strikeout victim in the first inning. Josh now hitting at .228. 18 homers, 56 driven in. And he's probably been pressing a bit, trying to get to that 20 home run mark. Whenever you start getting close to any rounded off number, 10, 20, 30, 40, 500, it just becomes that much harder to get there when you start swinging for it.
Everything is self-induced.
Can't catch up to the fastball. Quickly a 1-2 to Josh. And trust you and me, I know. Been there, done that. And misses 2-2. That's out towards left center field, going back. Willits, long way to go. He can't get there. He short hops the fence. Josh Fields races into second with the leadoff double here in the fourth inning.
Well, you can cancel a post-game show. That's our first hit. And for Josh, his 14th two-bagger.
Just a nice, short, sweet swing right there from Fields.
Well, Jim Thome will be the hitter. And they're changing those baseballs to make sure they can authenticate the home run if, in fact, it is hit. Thome grounded out to first. So Jimmy 0 for 8 in the series. Outfield there deep, real deep. Swung around to the right. Big gap in left center. And Joe Saunders checking the signs of Mike Napoli. Breaking ball, no. Oh, he's got the catbird seat. 2-0 the count. Big Chuck Thome. That ball into center field. And the fans, of course, anytime he swings and that ball goes up in the air, they get a little excited.
You can't blame him. You can't blame him.
I do too.
I mean,
the only thing for you and I, we heard it. So.
yes. Broken bat. No way that one had a chance when it left the bat. You can't help it. We understand. Jim's wife and father jumping up as soon as that ball left his bat. So now Paulie in a position to at least try and get the Sox on the board. Enerco grounded to third base in the second inning. Well, Jim Thome swinging for the fences, gets jammed a bit, breaks his bat, and at the same time was unable to move Josh Fields into third base. And straight change. Well, Saunders, the first rounder, as we mentioned, for these Angels back in '01 out of Virginia Tech. This guy's got a good arm. He's popping the fastballs, got some good life to it. And again, the straight change.
Yeah, you can easily see why he was a first-round draft pick.
initially drafted back in '99 in the 5th round by the Phillies. Said, nah, that's not good enough. I can do better. Yeah, it was a good decision on his behalf. That's just in, and the count 1-2. Napoli to go out and talk with Saunders. Joe Saunders in between seasons, the 06 and 07 campaigns, he decided it was time to put on a little weight. Gained about 15 pounds, got up to about 225. He felt his stamina in the latter part of a major league season was starting to get worn down. He needed to really work on his conditioning and his strength. As most major leaguers do exactly that, head home for the offseason, build up their strength, put on some weight, as you lose about 10, 12 pounds throughout the year. Inside edge, and Konerko takes it for the second out.
Quick fielder, number 3, Jermaine Dye.
Filled it up.
Napoli collapsing down on that leg, which is not the way you teach catchers to receive the ball. Just open up their thigh to be having a foul ball right off of it. That breaking ball misses. Jermaine Dye. JD walked in the second. Big gap in right center for Jermaine. And that pitch off the outside corner, 2-0. So Jermaine's going to stay with the fastball, which Saunders likes to work away from some of the right-handers, as they tried to with Dye up there the first time around. Good location is right center. And the count 2-1.
Starting to feature that changeup a little bit more now.
Second time around, now he's definitely decided he better go ahead and mix in all 3 of his pitches: fastball, curveball, and changeup. That's down, gets away from Napoli, but Fields cannot advance into third base. Those balls where once that catcher is trickling towards third base, he's got an easy throw. You never even think about moving up. Dye with the count at 3-1. On deck, Juan Uribe. Off the end of the bat down the right field line. Long way to go for Evans. Dives and tries to make the play. Doesn't come up with it. And it's a foul ball.
Well, Jeff Kellogg was right there to make the call.
Well, as close as
been fair right there.
As close as you can be to having a fair ball, that's for sure.
Yeah. That's one of those that could have been called either way.
Yes. Well, Jermaine Dye would be standing on at least a second, and we'd have a run. Instead, he's teeing it back up at the full count. And squibbing it foul. White Sox trying to get something going here against a left-hander. They have had all kinds of problems against southpaws this season. 13 wins, 27 losses. And here they're trailing today 3-0. Guys high in the upper tank. Josh Fields has been standing out there at second base a long time. He doubled. Had to hold his ground on the short fly ball to center by Thome. And then Konerko didn't make any contact. Always tough to have a leadoff double, and that's it. Man never moves from that spot. Rip foul. Jermaine Dye has been very consistent the second half of the season after a terrible first half.
Yeah, it was. It was just a very, very difficult first half for him. As he strikes out, so the Sox just by inches of getting a run, they don't score.
First pitch swinging and fouling it down the line is Orlando Cabrera. It's 3-0 here in the fifth inning. Angels on top. Home run by Vlad Guerrero in the first, and a two-run home run by Juan Rivera in the fourth. Cabrera 0 for 2. Now trying to slow Burley up a bit. Takes that one 1-1. Last time up, Cabrera did exactly that. See him just staying in that box, getting set, because Burley works so quick. That time, he had no problems as he rips it into left field. Man's great seats are still available for the last homestand of the season. That's when the Sox are hosting the Royals and the Tigers. To get your tickets, call 866-SOX-GAME or visit whitesox.com. It's Vlad. He's 1 for 2. Guerrero has one of the more aggressive approaches to hitting in baseball. He's ready to go as soon as it leaves the pitcher's hand, especially if there's a pitcher out there that he knows throws strikes. And quickly 0-2.
It still gets me, you know, when you're talking about Alex Rodriguez and Vladimir Guerrero. All the things that both these guys have accomplished, and Vladimir, of course, being the youngest of the two. 25 or more home runs in 10 consecutive seasons. And he's just 31 years old.
Pollard for the first out. I mean, to say Alex Rodriguez and Vladimir Guerrero in the same breath as the only two that have ever accomplished that. I mean, we're talking about great players, great powerful hitters in the history of this game that hadn't done that. I mean, just really, I mean, it's enough said.
And one of them's 32, the other's 31.
Rob Quinlan. A little infield hit right up the middle and struck out looking in the third. You know this. Mike Scioscia realizes when he put Rob Quinlan behind Vladimir Guerrero, Vlad's not going to get a whole lot of good pitches in a tough game situation. Not that that matters with Guerrero. You could throw it, try and hit him in the hip. He might take you down the left field line out of here fair.
Well, the only way to make sure of that is just put four fingers up.
Yes. There's a good pitch on the outside edge, dipping away from Quinlan. Rob has been a do-all guy for Scioscia. Coming off that bench, filling in. And it's 1-2. It's the kind of guy that most teams are looking for nowadays. You've got to be able to play several positions, get anywhere in the lineup. I mean, there's no more designated backup second baseman or shortstop, third baseman or first baseman guys. You've got to be able to play all those positions as well as the outfield most of the time now. Mainly because so many teams need to carry about 7 guys in that bullpen. Gives you a smaller bench to work with.
And it's going to get worse before it gets better, because you're having so many teams that are having so much trouble with their bullpens. It might get to the point they might have to increase the player limit, active player limit.
5-4, not in time. Quinlan runs well.
Of course, if they were to do that, there's going to have to be some concessions made in other areas by the Players Association. As you look at this attempt, this is a chopper. They might have to go to 26 or 27 guys.
I remember what was it, late 80s, that rosters were expanded briefly.
Yeah.
To 26
after the walkout.
So, I mean, that was different. Definitely was a good comforting feeling going into spring training for some players, saying, hey, look, I might finally be that one extra guy.
Well, I would imagine if they're going to do that, they're going to have to get rid of something, and it might be the DH. That'd be the only way they could ever even have a prayer of getting rid of the DH, would be to expand the roster.
Yeah, that makes sense. Still keep a very valuable slugger over there to get in the lineup as often as you can, that is, and that is fouled off right side when Quinlan was on the move. Had the read on Burley. Quinlan 3 stolen bases in 5 attempts this year. There he goes, had a good read and was off. Hard working runner.
Not like Sean Casey.
Why are you making jokes, making fun of people?
No. That's your department.
Andy Gonzalez with the flip and accurate to get the runner. So one stranded, and the Sox looking to get some offense going with Uribe, Richard, and Gonzalez. First pitch swinging, thank you, Chuck, is Juan Uribe, and hitting a shot to deep right field where Evans was playing.
And these guys are playing so deep, they look like Seattle.
Yeah, I tell you, you talk about a different looking outfield with Gary Matthews Jr. not running the show out there.
You know, he has become, without question, my favorite guy to watch play center field. Now, am I saying he's the best? I don't know. You know, you got Torrey Hunter and some other guys that can really patrol that central garden out there. But he is the most fun to watch, positioning, and that's what you and I both really like to see. He's liable to move, you know, 130, 140 feet in between hitters. You guys got some guys that don't move 1 or 2 feet in between hitters.
Well, that's exactly right. And the one thing that Gary Matthews does is he runs that outfield. He lets the right fielder know, this is where I'm at, come with me. The left fielder, here I am, move over. And that's a very, very comforting feeling if you're a manager. You say, hey, he's got it. Oh, he knows what he's doing. He went over everything. He knows where he needs to play. He knows what the pitcher is doing. And we just don't see that a whole lot anymore. Individuals taking charge out there. They just wait for a coach to stand up on the step and wave a towel telling them which way to move. Danny takes it up and in for the 3rd walk of the game from Saunders. Now Danny remains at 0 for 1 after grounding out to first in the 2nd inning. Andy Gonzalez, strikeout victim in the 3rd, waits his turn. And obviously, and very good at blowing bubbles.
Well, one thing about Gary Matthews Jr., though, is as a rule, he's not going to make as many catches that are going to make the highlight films as Torrey Hunter, because he plays a lot shallower and he can't get back there to the fence to go up over the fence to make him and bring him back in like Hunter can. But he's going to take more base hits away from him.
That's it. There's a strike. I remember Gary 2 years ago made a catch, though, in Texas. Oh, my. It was as good a catch up over the wall that I've ever seen.
Well, they just voted that the #1 catch of all time.
Really?
Yeah.
It was truly amazing.
Which I don't particularly agree with. It was a great catch. There's no doubt about that. And it may have been, top 20.
I put it there, yes.
But they voted that the #1 catch of all time.
Hey, it was a great catch, but of the, hundreds of thousands of catches that have been made, to put it in the top 20 is pretty good. Pass off to the right, and the count remains 0-2.
I saw Reggie Smith, who was a center fielder for the Red Sox and the Dodgers. Yeah, hit over 300 home runs. But defensively, I saw him make a couple of catches that, you actually could not believe unless you saw him. And back in those days, they didn't film every year, have videotape of every game.
Well, that's exactly right. Off the outside edge. Hey, some of the best catches I saw were by a man that didn't have a lot of games televised because he played in Montreal, and that was Marquise Grissom. Marquise Grissom was like Matthews. He played way in, and you're talking covering some ground. Oh. That's out towards right center. Willits. He's getting to it and does. 2 down.
What's called circling the wagons right there.
Getting his sprints in. You'd have to say that Reggie Willits is erring on the side of caution, staying back and rounding it. Doesn't want it over his head in this ballpark. Maybe he's not too comfortable with the winds, the circulation.
Remember what we saw Ichiro do out here, get up on top of the fence out there in left center?
Oh, yes.
Remember that highlight they ran of the Japanese Baseball League with that guy standing on top of the fence and making the catch?
That's one of the greatest catches I've ever seen.
Yeah, well, I saw Reggie make one like that in RFK against Hank Allen. We were playing the Senators there. And he was standing right on top of the fence when he caught the ball.
Yes, see, that's the thing. Not everybody's seen those. But
and then, when he came off the fence, he did a flip.
Well,
he was the first guy I ever saw that would, Ozzie Smith used to go out there and do the flip.
Right.
Reggie was the first guy. He did that back in the 60s.
I know his athleticism away from the field is well known. No, but that catch by that player from Japan, when I saw that, I'd never ever seen anything like that. That was amazing. That's going to make the seats and the count 1-1. Does Kevin Mitchell qualify for that bare hand catch? Huh?
That was neat, wasn't it?
Are you kidding me with that?
That was neat. That really was. Every time I see that to this day, I start chuckling.
You overrun the ball, and then you just say, oh, the heck with it. And you reach your hand out, and boom, you catch it. Your bare hand. That is ripped over the camera well.
Almost got southpaw.
Southpaw's let Toby Hall know, hey, put it between the lines.
Southpaw does really such a terrific job. Kids just love southpaw.
Yes. Oh boy, today I was walking through the concourse area prior to the game, and I saw some kids with their Jim Thome bobblehead. They had it hugged so tight, so happy to be here. You can't help but put a smile on your face when you see little kids at the ballpark, and they get something that they feel is so special. Jim Thome bobblehead day here at U.S. Cellular Field. 2-2 count with 2 outs. Sox needing to get on the board, and they're having their problems with the southpaw Joe Saunders, who has a pretty good total of pitches up there so far. He's been working pretty hard. There it is, Mr. Incredible. Dun, 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 dun. put that away before a foul ball gets it. Runner's on the move, and it's off into the seats. W. Hall, who signed a 2-year contract, joining the Sox. And it couldn't have happened at a worse time. He injured that shoulder right towards the end of spring training, and that's just thrown his whole season out of whack.
Well, he had such a good spring
Yeah.
prior to that injury. Everything looked nice.
I mean, that just ruins your whole season. You got to start the year on the disabled list, rehab, and the possibility of serious major surgery to fix your shoulder. And you avoid doing that with the hard work and the rehab. But your season just never really gets back the way it was supposed to have been. And, you know, Toby's looking forward to getting to the offseason, working out, and getting ready for next year. There's ball 4. A 4th walk by Saunders.
Well, we better have a whole bunch of those guys in that frame of mind. Because the nucleus of coming back in 08 and having a good season, the nucleus is here.
Yes. Yep, that's right. The nucleus, without question. There's plenty here that can carry a team. Here's Mike Butcher, pitching coach. Butcher spent a little time pitching in the big leagues with these Angels. Spent the year down as the pitching coach with Tampa Bay, and got the opportunity when Bud Black became the manager of San Diego to come back to a team that he was very familiar with. Here you see the numbers on Saunders. Overall, not the most impressive, other than the fact he's only allowed 1 hit and no runs. He has walked 4 through 4 2/3. Jerry Owens takes that one down. Jerry, he drew one of the walks in the 3rd inning. He also grounded out. Right back up the middle, a bullet past Saunders, being waved home as Daniel Shaw. Willits, he kicks it in center field. Into third base goes Hall, into second Owens.
Well, you walk 2 guys in an inning, the order gets burned.
Willits picking up his 3rd error on the season. Just a little too excited right there. He had no play at the plate with Rashaw running. Number 1, you've got to make sure you catch the ball.
So Elizabeth Ann, Duty Gorman, and Michael, our guy from North Harbor Towers, they're picked to click. Comes through with a clutch 2-out RBI single and puts everybody in good shape.
Josh Fields. Josh doubled to deep center field his last at bat. Do it again. Saunders throws that one in the dirt. So not the 2nd time through, but the 3rd time through the Sox lineup. Able to scratch that home plate area. Just need a base hit right here, Josh. Outside edge, 1-1. Josh averaged pretty darn good, 271 with runners in scoring position this season, especially with a team batting average that's far below that with runners in scoring position. Big swing, no contact, 1-2. Josh looking for a little bit more than tying this game up with that swing. Some guys just know one speed when it comes to their swings. And Josh does not necessarily cut down on his swing a whole bunch. Maybe a little bit shorter and quicker, but still very explosive. He doesn't have a little chop down swing at all. Comes up empty. So Saunders strands 2 in scoring position. The Sox do get on the board, but they trail it by 2. Howie Kendrick takes the breaking ball for a strike. Howie singled hard back up the middle and scored last time. That was in the 4th, and he's 1 for 2.
Cleveland has some outstanding young talent over there.
That's high. That's deep. Josh Fields at the warning track. He makes the play. Kendrick cut it off the end of the bat just enough. Juan Rivera, 2 for 2. I mean, infield single, it says right there, folks, but it was a rocket. Just a great stop by Gonzalez down the third base line. And a high towering home run. And that is fouled back off the screen. And it's quickly 0-2. Mark Burley in his last start threw the ball very well against Detroit. Walked away with a no decision after 7 strong innings, allowed just 1 run. That is into the seats. Mark. August 3rd. That's the last time he won a ball game. Strike 3. On Sunday, September 30th, the Sox host the Tigers at 1:05. It is Fan Appreciation Day, and the Sox will be handing out posters from U.S. Cellular. U.S. Cellular is wireless where you matter most. Pretty good pitch right there. Taken for a ball, Mark Burley. 3 strikeouts in this ball game. No walks. And a big swing and a miss there. 1-1. That one taken, and a pretty good pitch. I tell you, Mark, needing a little more support. He has been pitching well. He has had his problems, yes, against this particular team in his career, picking up wins, but 106 wins in his career against 75 losses. And a nice 3.77 earned run average. You look at his earned run average this year, 3.39. Well, that's very impressive for a guy that's just 9-9. There's ball 4 as Napoli will take his base. Terry Evans, he's flied to center field on 2 occasions in this ball game. The Angels have called up several players from their minor leagues to help them through September, give some rest to others, and also try and make sure that they had maintained their first place lead in the AL West. Well, they've pretty much opened it up since Seattle. Seattle went on a losing streak. And the count 0-2. They were one game behind the Angels a little over a month ago, where it was Seattle. They got swept by the Angels, and now you look up and they're 8.5 back to start today. So the largest lead of any division leader. Napoli going nowhere. That's up and in, and the count 1-2. Evans acquired by the Angels in a trade that sent Jeff Weaver to the Cardinals. Off the end of the bat, but out towards right center field, and Jerry Owens, he runs it down and makes a great driving catch to keep this game at 3-1. Great job, Jerry.
Big Jim Thome in quest of number 500. 0 for 2 today, 0 for 9 in the series. They put the shift on. And Joe Saunders, 26-year-old southpaw, with a kick and a delivery. Thome trying to become the 23rd member of that 500 home run club. That's inside to even the count at 1. Breaking ball, good one. Now you got to cinch it up and hunker down. 25. Drop down, that ball hit into left center field. Willits is there, makes the catch. 1 out.
A couple occasions now for Jim Thome to tease the fans, hitting out towards center field as that one got in on him. His drop down effort, a little change of direction from Saunders, and a fastball got in on him. And once again, they are jumping up and trying to convince that ball to do more than it's been willing to. So that brings up Paul Konerko. Paulie 0 for 2, a ground out and a strikeout. Konerko sitting on 29 home runs. He too has been trying to reach the 30 plateau for the 5th time in a White Sox uniform. Well, we got some guys that have some personal goals that they're trying to achieve. The problem is there's plenty of time to achieve them. You just get it out of your mind, which you can't do. You know what you've got. Very tough. I remember in Japan at the end of the year, I was playing against the Fukuoka Daiei Hawks, and Sada Hadao, the manager of that team, comes up and says, "Hey, you got 19 home runs. Come on, hit one more." I'm like, "Hey man, this is your team. What are you cheering me on for?" He just knew you're sitting on 19 and you need to get to the next one. Well, with his permission, I went ahead. That's all it took, I guess. Opposing manager to say it's okay.
You're not hard to please.
No, you know, I'm like, thanks, man. That's awfully kind of you. I was feeling guilty that, you know, one home run might really hurt you guys. No. Well, Paulie needs one home run right here. No chance, as that's well off the outside corner. And Saunders walks his 5th of this ball game. Yeah, he's been getting away with it. 5 walks. He's only just allowed 1 run. Yes, it's all right to walk guys if the guys behind you are catching the ball and you have only allowed 2 hits. But this could be the one batter that makes you pay finally. Let's see if Jermaine wants to step it up again. He's done it many a time in a White Sox uniform. Today he's 0 for 1 with a walk. And out in front of the changeup.
He's got a nice changeup.
That one a little slower than the last couple he had thrown, about 84, 85, only 83. Tries it again. No, a little sinker. Boot cheek, I like to call him, instead of boot cheek.
Yeah, pretty good stuff as well.
Yes, another former first rounder. Bukovic or Bukovic. Off into the seats in the count at 2-2. Jermaine Dye's 44 home runs, the second highest total in White Sox single season history. Albert Bell 49 and 98. Frank Thomas 42 a few occasions. And that one just right by him. Seven strikeouts for Saunders. That matches a season high. And just one off his career best.
Well, from what we've seen today, it doesn't surprise you. Mentioned it back in the 3rd inning. We might have our hands full, and indeed we have had our hands full. One went on 2 hits off this left-hander. Left-handers who have a good changeup, which he does, and especially if they can get the breaking ball over, which he has, we got a problem. And this is not just in 07.
No, this has been a recurring nightmare for years now. Kenny Williams has actually gone out in the past trying to rectify that problem and what he felt was going to strengthen this team against left-handers, and it just really hasn't happened. That's high down the right field line, drifting over Evans. He'll settle underneath it for the out. We have one-man reach on the walk once again. Can't do anything with it. We trail it by 2.
Top of the 7th inning, 3-8-1 for them, 1-2-0 for us. Joe Saunders has really shut our offense down. Top of the order, Reggie Willits, Orlando Cabrera, and Vladimir Guerrero to face Mark Burley. Mark gave up a solo homer to Guerrero in the 1st, a 2-run shot to Rivera in the 4th.
Well, Kenneth, let's see if you can get us some runs. I mean, I got us one. See what you can do with it.
Yeah, but you gave up 2. Josh, that ball off the bottom of the fence. So the leadoff double.
I didn't know that counted against me. I'm sorry.
Nineteenth 2-bagger for Willits, and that's what we were talking about the other day. There's a situation, you know, you got to play Josh a little deep out there. So he can get back to that fence on line shots, and he's been playing deep. So here's Cabrera. He's 1 for 3. Cabrera trying to get that man over.
Well, I know this. Watching Josh, he's been working hard in batting practice. Coach has been hitting in balls, so he's working, and
Oh, that's not an issue.
it's a matter of getting experience.
That's not an issue. The work ethic of Josh Fields or any of the players. We don't have one player that's an issue with. If it was, they wouldn't be here.
No, those guys are gone.
That'll get the job done. Sacrifice 5-3. And that'll bring up Vladimir. Ozzie getting on Vladimir over there.
Just want to put him on.
Yeah. Vlad walked up to the plate just looking at Ozzie. And Ozzie's just flipping his hand at him.
Now Ozzie's just yelling at him.
Ozzie gets on opposing players more than any manager I've ever seen. But he does it in that kind of fashion.
Yeah, you don't see that very often
No,
anymore.
not at all. Watch Ozzie. So here's Quinlan. I'll tell you who used to do that a lot in the same kind of fashion. Billy Martin.
Really?
Not the last 3 or 4 years he managed, but prior to that, when he was managing in Minnesota and he was managing in Detroit and Oakland, yeah, oh, he had fun with the other guys. So here's Quinlan. Takes a curveball strike. He's 1 for 3. Had a soft infield single back in the first inning. Yeah, Billy was always trying to trade for me, and we would talk before the games. Then the game was starting. And there's a base hit. So Willits will score, and it's a 4-1 ball game. And he'd be all over me when I'd come up to the plate, especially the man on third, less than 2-out situation.
Was he actually trying to trade for you or just get rid of somebody?
Finally asked, he kept telling me it every time we'd play him. I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you. So I went up. There's a shot in the center field. Jerry coming on, can't get to this one. So that'll be a base hit. Or is Turris, his first of the game, and that'll load him up with 1 down and 1 in here in the top of the 7th.
Hard working day for Burley. He's allowed the 11 hits, a couple of walks, and thrown 107 pitches up there.
All right. Burley will depart. Buckfitch comes on now. We'll be back.
Buckfitch in 44 games is 1-0 and a 5.05 earned run average. 254 opponents has hit against him, as Ryan's earned run average unfortunately has been going up. He had it down in the 2s a month or so ago.
And a tough cookie at the plate, and Howie Kendrick. That is shot in and out of the mezzanine. So the count 0-1 to the 24-year-old second baseman.
He's just got a real good approach to hitting. He stands up pretty high, so he doesn't really come up ever out of his stance. He goes down to the ball, if anything. Nothing wrong with that. And he's got that closed stance.
That's trouble. It's a 5-1 ball game on the swinging bunt single by Kendrick. When you play these Angels with the lineup they're running out there the last 3 days, they're going to get a lot of soft base hits.
Well, that's not normal for Kendrick. He hits it hard, but this one here, I tell you, that's a good effort by Andy Gonzalez. He's got too good a speed, does Kendrick, for him to get him. A swinging bunt right on the hands. Good pitch by Buckvich, and another one added to the tally sheet of Burley.
So here's Rivera, an infield single, but that wasn't a soft one. That was a bullet. Then a 2-run homer, and then a strikeout. And here's another softly ground ball. There's booed by Gonzalez. So he'll pick up his 8th error, and it's a 6-1 ball game.
Well, you're going to see right here exactly what happens. Andy Gonzalez is trying to be too quick with this play. He's just going to not watch the ball into the glove. He was looking to home plate, try and quickly make that sweep with the glove and hand at the same time and transfer, and just never ever had that ball.
So here's Napoli. A lot of his errors have just been strictly rookie mistakes. Trying to do too much too quick. Backing up on some when he should have come in. Throwing mistakes.
And he had really looked so comfortable at the big league level defensively while he was playing the outfield and then sporadically playing the infield, but he's been run out there to third base every day. He's definitely shown that the pressure has been put on him down there.
So far, a 3-run 7th here for the Halos, and still 1 out, bases loaded. $29,010 tickets sold for this ball game. Buckvich with a full count to Napoli. A single in the 2nd, single in the 4th. He walked in the 6th. Bottom of the 9th in Cleveland. Kansas City leads them 4-3. And it is 7-1. How many times has this happened to Burley and Johnny Danks this year? Leave the game with ducks on the pond, or bases loaded, and all of them come around and score.
There's no question it has been a nightmare for the pitchers to leave a game with runners on. If they wanted to exit at any time, it's going to be after an inning is closed out for them.
So Ozzie out. Matt Thornton comes on, and we'll be back.
Board call to the pennant for Matt Thornton. 4-4 with a couple of saves. 512 is his earned run average. 280 opponents have hit against Matt this year, as Thornton has admitted that this has been quite the disappointing season, that he did not know what went wrong. He hasn't been able to get in any kind of streak where he felt good all year long, and well, now is a good time to get on a good streak, finish up the year strong.
So here's Morales hitting at .317, 3 homers. He's driven in 14. Takes it up high. Seven, 12, and 1 for them. 1, 2, and 1 for us. A final from Cleveland. Kansas City beats them 4-3. Bottom of the 7th in Minnesota. Tigers leading the Twinkies 4-2. So as we speak, Detroit, if they can hang on, will be just 2 games back of the Yankees in the race for the wild card as they take on the Red Sox tonight at Fenway. Cubs leading the Cardinals 4-0. That's in the bottom of the 6th in St. Louis. Final from Washington, 3-0 Atlanta. There's a Doc Edwards shot right there.
Ouch.
Phillies leading the Mets 10-5. Top of the 7th. That's Shea. Milwaukee 5, Cincinnati 0. That's in the bottom of the 7th at Miller Park. He gone.
Nice little off-speed pitch from Thornton right there.
And here's the man who started it off with a double off the left field fence, the bottom of the fence. Takes first pitch strike. And the count evens at 1. Kendrick at third, Rivera at second. And Mike Napoli at first. And the count 1-2. That fastball at 96. Blocked nicely by Thome. So 2 balls, 2 strikes with 2 out here in the top of the 7th. This year the Sox, if a lot of you have been following us all season, we get to the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning, and boy, we have given up some runs. There's a shank. I mean, big time runs.
I'll tell you something. The starting pitchers this year, 3rd in the American League in innings pitched. That tells you the story there. They've had to go deep or else.
High pop-up can of corn, but a big crooked number is going to go up on that board. They put a 4th spot, and we'll go to the 7th inning stretch, trailing by 6.
Some changes for the Angels. Nathan Haynes takes over in right field. On the mound, Chris Butchek, his 47th game of the year, 3-2, 424 his earned run average. Pretty good arm.
Yes, he does, as Danny Bichard will take low and in ball 1.
Our first round draft choice is Butchek for these Angels.
Down and in ball 2. Outfield about equidistant, slightly to the left, spread out just a little bit. As there's a strike. Andy Gonzalez on deck. Toby Hall in the hole. Top of the 7th now in St. Louis. Cubs still shutting out the Cards. Gotta go, Danny. Gotta go, Danny. Yes, attaboy.
That's a pretty good catch by Howie Kendrick. As Cabrera sprinted right in front of him, trying to grab it himself, came up empty. Kendrick keeps the concentration and gloves it anyway. Never had a chance with Danny digging hard.
So here's Gonzalez, who has struck out and popped up the center. Takes first pitch strike. Tigers hitting in the top of the 8th, leading Minnesota 4-2. They're just getting underway in Los Angeles as the Dodgers host the D-backs. And there's a pop-up. Out of play. It's 0-2 the count to Gonzalez. Bottom of the 7th with shade. Mets are trailing the Phillies 10-6. Rockies shutting out the Marlins 8-0. Bottom of the 4th in Denver. San Francisco did not score in the top of the 1st at San Diego. Seven, 12-1 for the Angels. They are trying to pick up their 88th victory of the season. Boston has 90. Cleveland has 87. That breaking ball hit deep in the right center field. Willits can't get there. So Shaw. To hold up a little bit. We're moving to 3rd. Runners at the corners, nobody out.
Well, Willits has been taking the circle route to the balls this afternoon as he's going around and then coming in at the last second. So he is not feeling real comfortable out in the little breezes of U.S. Cellular Field. Danny, a pretty good job making sure he goes 3/4, sees that he doesn't come up with it. And that's exactly what you do as a base runner. If he doesn't come up with it, you know you can get into 3rd base. And Danny did everything right there.
Toby Hall will be the hitter. Toby is grounded to short and he has walked. We mentioned those victory totals for the American League and the National League. Mets have won 83, Cubs 77, and the D-backs 83. It's popped up right side. Everybody a long way to go and can't get there.
You know, that definitely was a tough play for Kendrick, who was coming from second base. Didn't really have that far to go when it comes to Quinlan, but that is a tough, almost impossible play for most first basemen. They're gold glovers. They run out there and probably make that play, but other than that, first baseman don't want any part of that one with all the wind pushing it around.
Chris Buchek accepts the sign from Mike Napoli, and there's a shot base hit. Semi-line drive right over the head of his Turris. Danny scores, and it's a 7-2 ball game.
I tell you, Buchek was looking in like, how did he hit that pitch? It was running in on the hands of Toby Hall, and he quickly got enough of the barrel of the bat through the zone to nail it. It really looked like Toby couldn't get to it, but Toby takes his hands from right there by his right ear and just snaps the ball through the zone quickly. Keeps his hands very close to his body to get the barrel to that one. A lot of Sox players growing their winter beards.
see Justice Spire. Well, it's not exactly like we would hit 3 bullets off this boot check.
No, you got a high chopper infield hit, fly ball that very easily could have and should have been caught.
Yeah.
And then that little muscle shot over third base.
Well, here is Jerry Owens. Jerry 1 for 2 with an RBI. Jerry hitting at .255. He takes the breaking ball strike from Buchek. Not a real good swing right there. AC Cabrera got nothing to lose as long as this Turris is on his toes. That's a good play, and I'm sure they've talked about it and worked on it.
That right there is a Jose Valentin play. I haven't seen it in a while. Cabrera, indeed, made the right throw there.
And you want to go back a little further, Bert Campaneris play.
For my time.
He was one heck of a shortstop. One heck of a player. Played with Kansas City and Oakland. Or Kansas City who went to Oakland. And here's Josh Fields. Take strike 1. Outfield spread out. Angels 1 in the first. Vladimir Guerrero's 25th homer. 2 in the fourth. 2-run shot by Juan Rivera. Sox 1 in the fifth. And there goes Owens. Safe. Number 27 for Jerry.
Well, it used to be something to think that Jerry could steal 20 bases. Now he's going to get past 30 probably this year. I tell you, Jerry Owens steals bases basically flat-footed. He does not get leans or great jumps.
Big rip, and Josh just missed it underneath it. Well, he's done it, and this is just his 82nd game. So it's an indication of, as he improves getting on base, he's improved his swing and his hitting. Now he's got to learn how to get on base with those bunts, those drag bunts, push bunts. And when he does that, he's liable to steal 50. Breaking ball out in front.
Well, Jerry most definitely relies on flat-out pure speed to steal bases. He is not a technician, to say the least.
Well, we've seen great improvement in Jerry. Great improvement at the plate, and even more so in center field.
It'll be interesting to see when he gets that little feel, that little lean into his stolen bases.
2-2 the count. That ball hit deep to right field. Stretch. Get on back there. At the fence he jumps. You can put it on the board. Yes! A 3-run homer by Josh Fields. His 19th. He now has 59 RBIs. And it is a 7-5 ball game.
Reynolds just muscles it out of here the other direction. The wind not hurting it at all. Just kept pushing it on out of this ballpark, slicing across towards that foul pole.
So Chris Buchek will depart and we'll be back. So a huge round of applause for Jim Thome, who is 0 for 3 this afternoon.
Just inspired, the field call to the pen.
Big hack by Thome. Jimmy has grounded to first twice, has gone out to center field. And the count evens at 1. Well, the Angels with 4 runs here in the top of the 7th. Sox come right back with 4 so far. And the count 1-2. Him. So 2 down to Konerko. Holly is 0 for 2 with a base on ball. Watch out. Quick slider right there from Spire. That has been the pitch that has made him effective. Real late, quick break. Like
and that delivery of his is going to really make it hard on righties and lefties. Plus, he's got a pretty good splitter. Just when you're not ready for it, he'll drop that up there at home plate.
Ball hit hard by is Turris. First 2-bagger for Paul Konerko, will bring the tying run to the plate.
See, off the line and plenty of room to smoke it past is Turris, and then Rivera left field also was off the line, so it's a long way to go. Just pick it up in that corner.
Main is due. He is 0 for 2. Right on the outside edge with that slider. And there's another strike. So 1-2 the count. JD thinking that ball was low.
That always bugs you as a hitter when you look back and the catcher can't hold on to it too. You're looking for a break of some kind.
One high, a little high neck in.
And for those those of you not familiar, Spire, the son of former big league shortstop Chris Spire.
Paulie at second, 2 out. And the 2-2 pitch. That's in the center field, right at Willits. But the Sox come back with their own big crooked number. We'll go to the 8th, trailing 7-5.
Mike McDougal on his 51st appearance this year. He's a 1-5, a 6.69 earned run average. 278 opponents have hit against him, as you may have noticed. We have been talking about problems late in games all year long, and maybe these earned run averages from the bullpen that you've noticed. All of them over 5 from the 3 relievers we've seen so far.
Orlando Cabrera to face McDougal. Cabrera's 1 for 3 with a sacrifice bunt. That ball hit up the middle and into center field. So the 13th hit for the Halos. We have 7. And here's Guerrero. Vladimir is 1 for 3, a homer, his 25th. He also was intentionally walked into 7th and came around to score. Cabrera, just a decent lead. Is that his foul back? Cabrera looking for his 20th stolen base. He is 19 for 23 in that category.
And McDougal really can't do a whole lot to deter a base stealer from getting a stolen base. Got a long arm delivery.
.21 to count. Bottom of the 8th in Minnesota. Tigers leading the Twins 6-2. Kansas City beat Cleveland at Jacobs Field. And later on tonight, Yankees taking on the Red Sox at Fenway. Bottom of the 7th, St. Louis. Cubs leading the Cardinals 4-1. Ground ball. Get the force there and rack him up.
I couldn't tell if Vladimir was not running down the first base, and now it took him a minute to unfurl at home plate. That pitch got in on him and he spun off of it. Vlad, big man, runs well. Right there, he's not really running at all. Not hard on a walk that he had last time up. He ran down to first base after Guillen intentionally walked him.
He didn't know better to think that his hips were sore. Casey Kochman to hit for Quimby. Kochman hitting at 288, 9 homers. He's driven in 63. The ball hit hard. Jerry's not going to get that one. One hop off the top of the fence. He'll get it back in. So Kochman, the 2-out double.
That's what you call wasting no time as a pinch hitter. You walk up there ready for a fastball, you see it, you hit it. And that one was hit hard.
here's Masur. Is Turris. Outfield slightly to the left. And that sinker misses low. And that strike, that evens the count at 1. This game we will board our charter after the game. Head on down to Kansas City. Javi Vasquez against Kyle Davis. That's tomorrow night. That game will be over WCIU Channel 26. On Tuesday, Gavin Floyd against Gil Mesh. There's that ball into left field. And that'll do it. Nothing across. We go to the bottom of the 8th, trailing by 2.
See Kochman coming in and staying in this game at first. Shields now on in relief. Was here 4 and 5, the 373 earned run average, 216. The batting average against him, and his usual high total of strikeouts to innings pitched, 68 and 70 innings.
Well, we've seen him against us when we had no chance. Well, we've seen him when he had no chance. Usually when he was trying to overthrow. When we got him.
Yeah, he's a pretty darn good setup man getting to Frankie Rodriguez.
Two 2-0 the count to Uribe. Juan is 0 for 3. And the count 3-0. Danny Richard on deck. And Andy Gonzalez in the hole. That didn't take long.
Second baseman, number 1, Danny Richard.
I mentioned Richard had an RBI single. He does not. He scored twice. Had an infield single and a base on balls. As he takes ball 1, so that's 5 in a row off the mark for Scott Shields.
Mike Butcher not wanting to have to run out there, but one more ball and he probably will.
Mike Napoli will. 6 in a row off the mark. So here comes Butcher. He wants to reinforce what either Napoli told him or didn't tell him. 7-14-1 for them, 5-7-1 for us.
Pretty obvious that when a reliever comes in and throws 6 straight balls, the pitching coach is going to run out there and say, okay, obviously there's something going on here. We got to figure it out. Mike's also asking Butcher, what do you say? Is he all right? And then tell him to throw a strike. Yell that out to him.
Short lead by Uribe. And there's one.
Watching Mike Napoli behind home plate receive the ball. He does not get in a real good position to where he's going to help his pitcher with a lot of extra space off the corners. He really reaches out there, drops down. A lot of movement by the catcher.
So Shields back even in the count at 2. But we mentioned Vasquez and Floyd Monday and Tuesday down in Kansas City. That ball hit deep. Stretch way back. He looks up. You can put it on the board. Yes, and this game is tied at 7.
tried to set him up inside. Watch this one run back towards the plate. And Rashad with that no stride, just quick to it. Bit of an uppercut swing and see you later.
First pitch strike to Andy Gonzalez, so a 7-7 tie. Sox coming back from a 7-1 deficit after 6½. 0-2 the count. Andy now with 5 homers. And that's checked up. And of course, with these 2 home runs today by the Sox, the Alex Nelius family will donate $100 to White Sox charities for every Sox homer hit throughout the course of the season. That is number 170 and 171, so $17,100 donated by Alex Nelius in loving memory of Ursa. That breaking ball going away, 2-2. Breaking ball fouled over to the Sox dugout.
Andy going to a little bit more, getting closer to that little wrap of his that he had working before, moving the bat around, pointing it towards the pitcher just once with that movement, and then trying to remember not to do it.
Now the third. Here's Torres. One out, and AJ is going to come up to hit for Toby Hall. Dustin Mosley. Toby was 1 for 2 with a walk and an RBI single.
And then that third catcher on the roster here in September affords Ozzie the opportunity to give AJ the day off and then use him as a pinch hitter.
So Mark Burley is off the hook. Well, a few times that's high. Get out of here. Nope. 2 down. And a few times this year Burley has gotten off the hook.
Yeah, that's very rare that the Sox have this kind of late offensive explosion in the last 3 innings. Opponents have scored an awful lot, but we have not.
And here's Jerry Owens. Breaking ball strike to Jerry. Jerry 1 for 3 with an RBI, a run scored, and a stolen base. His 27th. That breaking ball down and in. For the Angels in their half of the ninth, it'll be Kendrick, Rivera, and Mike Napoli.
Obviously, the Sox just needed that left-hander to get off the hill to start their offense. All right, left-handers just have their number. And that's another area where you know that Ozzie and Kenny are going to be trying to figure out how do we improve against left-handers. We cannot continually be so far below 500 against lefties.
Post pitch didn't get it. 2-2.
And if you didn't hear us talking about it earlier, folks, the White Sox came into this ball game with 13 wins and 27 losses against left-handed starters.
Good rip by Jerry. Darren Erstad is coming man on deck to hit for Josh Fields if Jerry can reach. Josh just turning in 2 for 4, a double and a 3-run homer. And a full count.
Well, the Angels only have one left-hander in their bullpen. That's Darren Oliver. He pitched an inning last night, and he's not been warming up today, so Ozzie can keep running those lefties up there.
Gets him on a 3-2 hook. But the 2-run homer by Danny Richard will go to the ninth, tied at 7.
Some changes for the Sox. Out in left field, Darren Erstad takes over for Josh Fields. A.J. Pierzynski stays in the game behind home plate as Mike McDougal finishes up his warm-up tosses and gets set to face Howie Kendrick here in the 9th inning. There you have it. 7 runs on 14 hits, an error for the Angels. 7-8-1 for the Sox. Sox scoring 6 runs in the last 2 innings. Howie Kendrick. Howie, he's 2 for 4. He went hard up the middle in the 4th inning. He scored and then hit a little chopper down third base for an infield hit, driving in a run in the 7th. McDougal came in last inning. Throws that sinker down. Mike promptly gave up a base hit. Then induced a double play against Vlad Guerrero. Gave up a double and then got a fly out. That is off to the right into the seats as Kendrick has a 1-1 count. Shadow time here at U.S. Cellular. It is now not the easiest thing to do as a hitter, to connect right on the button. Breaking ball stays in for a ball. On deck for Rivera is Eric Ibar. The 2-1 just misses Kendrick, running way up and in now, 3-1. Right now, a difficult time for the hitters. When I mentioned that shadow that cuts across the very bright backdrop, the hitter's eye back there. You get glare off of that, and then the ball is in the shadows. It's just a tough read, especially on the off-speed stuff. That fastball is slicing and into the seats. Full count. So Howie Kendrick will regroup and get ready to hit on the 3-2 count with nobody out here in the 9th inning, this 7-7 ball game. Kendrick always thinking up the middle, right center. That's up the middle and it's short. Long way to go for Owens. He can't get there, so Kendrick picks up his 3rd hit of the afternoon.
As I said, with this lineup they've run out there, they're going to get a lot of soft hits.
They make pretty good contact. They put the bat on the ball. And when you make
part of their, hey, that's part of their offense.
That's it.
Duck farts here, duck fart there.
If you're going to make contact, not swing and miss a whole lot, you're going to have a lot of little choppers and bloopers. Here's Ibar. Eric at 236, no homers, 16 driven in. Inning for Rivera, who was 2 for 4. 2-run home run and a single. Ibar squares and ball 1. Three-sack bunch this year for Eric. Kendrick getting a real big lead over there. So this is pretty straightforward He puts on a bunt, he expects that's what he's going to do until he doesn't succeed. He doesn't usually change it around. Way in is Andy Gonzalez at third base. Charging on the lift of the foot is Konerko. And he bunts it foul into the seats. 0-2. Actually, 1-1. Ibar 1-2 check. Dino Ebel down at third base and make sure that we're on the same page. And he whispers in your ear, there's no mistaking what's going on. But you don't like to do that as a hitter. You don't want anybody to think that you don't know the signs. You only do that if you're really saying to yourself, you know, I don't care how embarrassing it is to go talk to the coach. I want to make sure I get it right. Check on Kendrick.
Annie Richard.
Well, it's turning out to be that he looks like
He's going to be there next year.
be a keeper. Yeah. The bunt is off and a ground ball to Richard. Uribe to Konerko. 4-6-3 double play. Double trouble. You can't get the bunt down and instead you hit into the double play.
Second one in as many innings. Sox now with 156 two-baggers, and this is just nothing to it. Except a nice pick by Paulie.
What new? Mike Napoli has reached all 4 times today. 2 walks, 2 singles, and an RBI. Breaking ball strike. And the count 1-1. Napoli has got a setup where he just puts his hands back there away from his body, out a little bit, extended towards the plate. Doesn't have a whole lot that he does from there. Once he sees the ball, he takes him and tries to attack it.
Well, with Jeff Mathis and Napoli, they got themselves a couple of pretty good young catchers.
And they've really given opportunities to Mike Napoli to be their everyday catcher. Mathis has seemed to have cracked in there. That's running in, and the count now 3-1. Guard on the line down at third in the shape of Andy Gonzalez. No doubles. Ball 4. He'll take his base. Third walk for Napoli on the afternoon. Nathan Haynes was a first-round draft pick, 32nd overall in the '97 draft. That's in. Fans getting a little restless now with the balls being thrown in this 7-7 ball game.
Well, fans are tired. They're saying all the base on balls come out of the bullpen.
It's high into left center field. Erstad says he has it. Got the glasses down. He'll make the grab. So the Sox able to avoid any problems in their half of the ninth, now needing to get a run. Eric Ibar stays in the game in left field. And there's a new pitcher for the Angels, Dustin Mosley. 4-2 with a 440 run average this year. 273 opponents have hit against him.
Oh, the 25-year-old right-hander of Texarkana. He is 6'4", 215 pounds. And Darren Erstad will lead it off with big Jim Thome on deck. Darren hitting at 253, 3 homers. He's driven in 29. First pitch strike. Outfield well around to the left. There's a big gap in right center. And that pitch down low. Start us off right here. That's a good way to start right there. The hand shot single into right field. Well, Haynes will get it back in, and here comes big Jim Thome. Thome 0 for 4 today, 0 for 11 in this series in his quest for 500. Modified shift on. Checks it up. And the count 2-0. Decent lead by Erstad. Well, just does catch the outside edge of the outside corner. And the count 3-1. Light him up right here. 25. Well, that adrenaline has been flowing in Jim Thome. You can see the difference as he makes his approach to the pitch. Really swinging hard. For the payoff. And once again over the first. Outfield really spread out. It is Tourist playing at the shortstop. Cabrera on the first base side of second. Ball hit deep. Way back. He looks up. You can Thome, the 23rd member of the Hall of Fame 500 Club. Mercy. Yes! One of the greatest guys to ever play the game of baseball. Just beloved by his teammates.
Fans have been here in support of Jimmy just day and night after night.
'23rd member of the 500 Club. And a ticket to Cooperstown. And let's look at it one more time. His baby boy got it. Congratulations, big man. You got it, the 23rd member of the 500 Club.
Thank you, Hawk. What a great day. What a great feeling. The crowd here, you know, it took some at-bats to get, but you know what? It was worth it. And Toby Hall said during the game, you know, everything happens for a reason. Well, it happened. So, you know, hard to explain. It's hard to explain what's going through me right now.
Well, when we had a shot of Big Chuck Thome, it looked like he said, "My baby boy."
I don't know what he said. I'll ask him later on, but I know he's proud, and my brothers and sisters, and you know, my wife. You know, it just what a great day. What a great weekend. The fans here, you know, every at bat, every pitch, you know, they were in it. And it's tough. It's tough to hit home runs and when people want you to do it, but it sure worked out great.
Jim, could have come on a more special day. The fans all stuck around. You win the ball game, and it's Jim Thome bobblehead day.
Oh my goodness! I tell you, as I said, what a great feeling. And this is something for me personally. I'll cherish this the rest of my life for sure.
Well, Big Jim, you're awesome. You always have been. And you always will be, buddy. Congratulations.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Jimmy.
Yeah.
Jim Thome on the 500th home run of his beautiful career. As I mentioned, one of the most beloved guys in the history of this game. You will never hear a bad word about Jim Thome.